Hi, it's Randy from the Institute for Creative Solutions, and I will have a strange question for you. Are we being treated like stockyard cattle? Are we being fed like stockyard cattle? And it's an interesting question because we've taken the cattle and transformed their lives. Their whole species has grown up eating the green grass and growing up really fast and herding and moving from one area to another wherever the food was good. And then as they left, they had fertilized for the next season the growth of that grass. Now we have them concentrated in feeding operations where they're restricted so they don't burn a lot of calories, and they're fed diets that are completely unnatural, that they never were designed to eat. And that's the high protein, cheap protein in the soy, GMO soy, and high grain starch from the corn. And that is usually GMO corn. And so the soy and the corn are completely unnatural foods for these animals. So, of course, they have health problems, and we give them hormones to grow them too fast, and we have antibiotics to keep them healthy. And then we had a few additives to make sure they're not totally missing essential nutrients. And then we wonder why their food isn't their meat is not that good. If you're eating meat, go to a regenerative farm where the animals and plants and humans all work together and help each other stay healthy. But that's not true for most people, and it's not true for us as humans either. Our diet has been transformed a lot like the stockyard cattle because we're focusing more on cheap protein coming from soy now, especially because they're trying to get us to not eat animal protein, and grains, the refined grains, and the corn, again, GMO, and it's the high fructose corn syrups used to sweeten our foods, and the corn oil is used to create the textures of our foods and make us think we're eating healthy fats, but it's not. And then there's cornstarch, and mainly we use wheat for actual grain because that's a tradition for humans, and we like fluffy bread and fluffy baked goods. But they've hybridized wheat to such an extent that many people can't handle the gluten that's required for all that fluffiness. And it's poisoned by the glyphosate pesticides that are put on the wheat fields. So we are being treated like the stockyard animals. We're being given the cheapest sources of the minimal nutrients that can keep us going, not keeping us healthy. And then we wonder why we're having all these chronic diseases and dying earlier than we should. It's because of the diet. It's not because we don't exercise enough or we can't resist eating. No, it's we have been taught we've taught our brains and our taste buds to crave these sudden tastes that the chemicals give us when they add the chemicals that are necessary to make these tasteless things that would be gray if they didn't have colors, and taste like cardboard if they didn't have the taste, the natural flavors or the unnatural flavors added. So we are being treated to the cheapest diet, the biggest, the most profitable diet. And of course, when we get sick, it's the same chemical companies that can try to get us well again. So that's why I wrote my book. I've been studying and teaching nutrition for 50 years. There are lots of great, good nutrition books out there that are in my library. This is not just supposed to be the hottest new nutrition book. It's about educating the world. That's what's been done to our diet. And it's worse now than 70 years ago and 50 years ago when I started teaching. It's about telling the world that we need real food. If we are to stay healthy, we should be eating the quality foods that we were designed to eat. And those are the single ingredient foods that your grandmother would recognize as food. And unlike the cattle who can't stand up and say, oh, put us out on the field again, We as humans can demand that for our health and our health freedom, we have the right to be given access to real quality foods as it comes from nature, minimally processed, not processed industrially and chemically for a bottom line of greater profit. So get a hold of this book, tell your friends about it. Let's change the world. We can change your relationship to food and change your health, but we can change the world. The whole food system needs help. Thank you.